Horses can tread on frost and snow with their hoofs, withstand wind and cold with their hair. They eat grass, drink water, lift their feet and prance and leap. This is the true nature of horses. Even if they had grand towers and great halls, they would have no use for them. Then Bull came and said, I know how to manage horses. So people singed and clipped them, pared their hoofs, branded them, bound them with halters and hobbles, and confined them in stalls and stables. By this, 2 or 3 out of every 10 horses died. Then they starved and thirsted them, made them race and gallop, forced them into perfect order with the pain of the bit in front and the terror of the whip behind. By this, more than half of the horses had died. The potter said, I know how to handle clay. Round things follow the compass, square things follow the square. The carpenter said, I know how to handle wood. Curved things follow the curve, straight things follow the line. But is it in the nature of clay and wood to desire compass, square, curve, and line? Yet generation after generation praises them, saying, Bull is good at managing horses. The potter and carpenter are good at handling clay and wood. This is also the fault of those who rule the world. In my opinion, one who truly knows how to rule the world would not go about it this way. The people have a constant true nature. They weave to clothe themselves. They farm to feed themselves. This is their shared virtue. They are one and not divided. This is called being free under heaven. Therefore, in the age of perfect virtue, people walk slowly and calmly. Their gaze was steady and mild. In that age, mountains had no paths or trails. Lakes had no boats or bridges. All things lived together in groups, each settled close to its own kind. Birds and beasts formed their flocks and herds. Grass and trees grew to their full height. You could tie a rope to the birds and beasts and lead them around. You could reach up and look into the nests of crows and magpies. In this age of perfect virtue, humans lived together with birds and beasts, side by side with all creatures. Who then knew anything about gentlemen or petty men? Dull and unknowing, their virtue did not depart from them, having no desires. They were pure and simple. In this purity and simplicity, the people attained their true nature. Then along came the sage, huffing and puffing after benevolence, reaching on tiptoe for righteousness, and the world for the first time had thus, mooning and nodding over his music, snipping and stitching away at his rights, and the world for the first time was divided. Thus, if the plain and wrought substance had not been blighted, how would there be any sacrificial goblets? If the white jade had not been shattered, how would there be any scepters and batons? If the Viennese virtue had not been cast aside, how would there be any call for benevolence and righteousness? If the true form of the inborn nature had not been abandoned, how would there be any use for rice and music? If the 5 colors had not been confused, how would there be any pattern? If the 5 notes had not been disordered, how would the 6 pitches be matched? to blight the plain substance and make vessels from it, that is the potter's fault, to destroy the way and its virtue, to create benevolence and righteousness, that is the sage's art. Horses, when living in the open country, eat grass and drink water. When pleased, they intertwine necks and rub each other. When enraged, they turn back to beg and kick. That is all that horses know to do. But when you put a yoke on them and feed them with a moon-shaped pestle, then horses learn to glare sideways, curl their necks, act wild, bite the bit, and steal the reins. That horses come to have such crafty minds and deceitful wits, that is the fault of Boa. In the age of Hazel, people lived without knowing what to do, walked without knowing where to go, mouths full of food as they played, bellies full as they wandered. That is all that people knew to do. Then along came the sage, bending and twisting right and music to correct the forms of the world, dangling benevolence and righteousness on high to comfort the hearts of the people. From then on, people began to strive for cleverness and fight over profit with no end in sight. This too is the sage's fault.